This was meant to hang on the wall, and as I've said before, I have better luck with things that don't hang on the wall. So I'm going to have Chris cut it just so, I mean, you can't cut it all the way up just because flush would make it that be loose. So he's just going to have to make little feet, but it won't stand straight up because of the waviness of it. But it is a nice shelf, though. Yes, so it needs another knob, and it's a little water stained and it's a little dirty, but still cute. So you give them two options. They could hang it on the wall or they could set it on something. I knew he could do it. There we go.
You want this like this, though?
I think that's a nice decoration.
Okay.
Well, I think there. Oh, I got the drawers out. So luckily they are just screwed in, so I should be able to change out the broken knob. So I do have a little spot here where the veneer is kind of pulling up. But we're going to go ahead, since we have to sand it anyway. It has nice little plate rack. So I won't get rid of those because you just never know what somebody, plus it's a lot of Bondo, you don't know what somebody would like to use it for. That would, I'm an ironstone person, so I collect plates. People collect teacups and plates, and sometimes it's nice to have plaques and stuff that can kind of have a little edge there so they don't fall out. So I'm going to be using a product called Star Bond, which is it's like a super glue, but it has a dryer that goes with it, so it dries in like 15 seconds. But I'm able to, since it's liquid, it will run underneath here a little bit better than like you think, oh, she's going to go get the Bondo back out. No, not necessarily. I kind of need it to go underneath there without splitting. Let gravity do its business, right? And then you spray the sprayer on it. And then I'm going to kind of push it down. And you kind of see it crystallize. And then it is drying. You need to scuff sand it, and especially where, I have to sand where I just put all that glue. Take the shiny off. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and tape off that back. Save myself some painting. And make sure that I can be that messy painter if I need to be. Okay, one more wipe down. I just took the air compressor, got most of the sanding dust. This is pine, so it was pretty soft, so it sanded really easy. I think this is just veneer board. So just Dawn dish soap, hot water, warm water, whatever your hands can stand, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and seal these in with shellac. Got the raw wood, got the top coat, got the stain, a lot going on, and that just evens out the porosity of the wood, how one's very absorbent, one has a little bit of a sealant on there. The shelf, I'm going to do sweet potato and a little bit of butter to so it's not so, I like sweet potato. It reminds me of pumpkin. That spit at me. Didn't like me calling it pumpkin. I probably need 6. This is a tablespoon. But I thought I'd maybe just have fun and lighten it up just a bit. Maybe one more. There we go. Just a little bit. Sometimes it'll just make it stand out a little bit. So I'm going to start off. See what 4 will be. That'll be thick enough or not. Oh, got some primitive, hopefully primitive folk art fun color here. Though, yes, my heart wanted to do green, but I don't know, there's something about that dark wood that I think, oh, that definitely would go with this. I'm calling it pumpkin. My concoction for this video. Just have to go at it. Try to tackle your hard areas, which are the inside for this one first. Did some beautiful things that pumpkin color did. Pumpkin. So we're going to sand it a little bit. With some aging wax, we're going to pop the crazing a little bit more. And that's just going to richen up that pumpkin color. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yep, they are. So for these ones, I have to put a little nut to keep it in place. Why, yes, I painted the bottom. Not the back, not the inside, but the bottom, just in case somebody does want to hang it. Sometimes going on the edges, the power sander will take off too much. Yes, Chris helped me out cutting some items down that are kind of unsellable as is. So let's make them over. Let's cut them so somebody can set them down, rethink what they are, and make them into hopefully desirable home decor pieces. I know. You think that somebody would have bought it, but it's been 2 years, I think I've had it. The drawers are cute, so we're going to take the drawers out, and I'm actually going to have Chris cut so it's flush.
I thought we were going to leave it up to here
because
these are inlet.
Okay, so whatever Chris thinks, but
and
we're
then
gonna,
that way, if you put something on it, it doesn't fall off the back.
Yeah, there's just not enough room, and you can't take these out. I thought somebody would like it, but they don't, so we're going to repurpose it and make it into something new. People love drawers, and they love stuff, place to put their stuff. So however high he thinks it should be, because like you said, he can't cut it flush because that would make them loose then. So he has to leave a little bit of a lip.
And you're going to have to Bondo these spots here.
I can Bondo. I'm friends with Bondo. So, yep, I got a lot of Bondo to do right through here. And then I'm probably going to fill in the little bug holes. Take the drawers out. Probably give the knobs a little something. Like I said, so I'm going to be using Bondo, my friend. So, as you see, it's a putty, and then you mix it with the hardener. Doesn't take much of the hardener. Sometimes more squirts out than I want it to, and sometimes not enough. A little bit of a difference. So, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and maybe the bug holes. Maybe they didn't like. I think it was more that it was hard to put anything in those little slots. So one of the videos I did not too long ago, I did a box and it had a lot of the worm holes in there. Now, if you do not know, Chris works for a pallet company where they do heat. They can do heat treat, which they heat the wood up to X amount of degrees, and then that kills off the bugs. So if you don't have an opportunity to do that, you can do 200 degrees in your oven for like 45 minutes to an hour. It's not enough to burn the wood. It's just enough to heat it up and cook anything that might be in the wood. Most people don't want to do that because they don't like the thought of, that. And I mean, they're not jumping out, y'all. But so there's that. So if you have run across a piece, and usually if it does have active worms, y'all, I can't believe I'm discussing this. You'd see fresh powder. Like we were just at an auction, and we actually stayed away from a lot of things because we saw fresh powder on items, knowing that it had the beetles. So yeah. So in case you wanted to know how to solve that problem, there it is. Okay, we're nice and hard now. So I'm going to take 80 grit sandpaper and start to sand it. I think these look like they're just pop in, maybe. So just get a hammer and see if I can pop them out. Well, I wasn't going to reuse it anyway. So I'm okay that broke off in there because I can sand it and now I don't have to fill it. Kind of looks like a neat design now, but I'm going to go ahead and get it washed down. Okay, we're going to get this sealed in with some shellac. The fun of getting to paint stuff is you get to come up with color ideas. You can just pick a color like artichoke, and you can add a color like olive, and maybe a little bit more in a pickle. So I like the artichoke. It's fun making different greens, different blues, different whites. So my base is going to be two artichokes. And then we're going to go in some olive. And then I'm going to do, let's see what in a pickle. You can kind of see what the color is going to be when you mix it up dry. So it has like that old timey. I think I'm going to go ahead and add one more of olive. That might be a little bit army green for me. I'm looking for a nice pretty sage, like a dark sage. I think that might work. And then I'm going to add liquid to it, water, just room temperature, tap water, to see what it's going to become without like having to add the water in. Now the directions say equal parts, but I have been doing like a drier mixture just to do one heavy coat. Oh, look at that color. Isn't that pretty? Ran out of painter's tape, so a little bit of masking tape is what. Well, you have to improvise. I got it on order, but shipping isn't quite the same as shipping used to be from Amazon. So you just got to you got to order sooner. Of course, I didn't realize that was my last roll, but inventory. like organization. You're always trying to figure out how to do it a little bit better. And will it cover it up? I think it will. Now, as you see that when you mix it up thick, you're putting it on thick. That way, if you're not a crackle person, you can not shellac it so it soaks into the wood, but you kind of need to do something because I put Bondo on it and sanded it, but maybe not use milk paint if crackling crazing is not your thing. I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, I know. Well, kind of like green. I like those green though. That's fun. It's fun to do a one-of-a-kind color. And I can mix it up the next time and think I have the same ratio, and I may not. Oh, I love that color. The color's very cool, very unique. So I'm going to go ahead with 220 sandpaper and kind of distress it, get the little bumpies. Whatever it does is what it does. We have crackling, we have crazing. Now it's time you have to seal your milk paint in with something, and I'm going to seal it in with Fusion's Aging Wax. Get into those corners. It's really going to make this look like an older piece. I get so excited at this at this point. All that prep. One-of-a-kind colors. Hard to believe it was probably a little like desk cubby for your mail, you'd put your mail in those. But people love a place to put their decor, and now it's perfect for decor on top and your stash inside. So with wax, without wax, it just brings out all those yummies. And then to make the drawers look a little bit older, this is just like thin board. I'm going to use that same aging wax. I won't do too much to this, which is a hardwood, probably maple, oak. I'm not sure. It's hardwood, but just to give the drawers like a little bit more character when you open them up. And it just gives it fresh. Oh, I love little porcelain knobs, so that's what I'm going to use. And I still see where all the holes were, and I'm just using a drywall screw to attach them. Left this little chair that is split in our outside booth. So I thought, you know what? It's time to make it over. We got to glue it together first. So it's held together right now with tape. That patina is amazing. How do you match that, right? Oh, and it's duct tape. Yeah, it's going to be messy. It's already stuck to me. Sticky by the time I get this tape off here. I need to glue it, so I'm just using Tite Bond. I got most of it off. I can't say I got all of it off, but so now we just need to get some Tite Bond in there, which is a nice wood glue. I'm going to take some clumps. Right Better to have too much, not enough, right? Because then I need to clamp these two pieces down so that they're flat. Okay, it's been a couple hours, so my tight bond should be set up now. Now we have a cute little chair that is no longer in two pieces. So I liked how that bottom was, how it kind of was soaked in. So I think if I spray paint it, that maybe it'll soak in, and then when I sand it, it'll distress differently. But there's a lot of spindles. The bottom's kind of a mess now where I had to take that duct tape off. Heck, let's see what it does. I am going to clean it off a little bit though. So I'm going to try this satin pistachio. What do you think? I think it's kind of like a jadeite. We will see. It's always about how you finish it up. I don't use a ton of crayon paint. I like the color. Not like awesome coverage, but that's okay because I wasn't looking for awesome, because I'm going to try to distress it similar to what was underneath. We'll see what it does. So I'm going to start off with 220 since I'm not familiar with crayon. Well, it comes off. It comes off pretty easy. It has a primer in it, but it doesn't have a top coat, and I didn't spray anything on. Like I said, I liked the bottom, how that looked, where it was really, the paint was really like gone. So that's what we're going for here. So I'm not sure what aging wax will do, if anything, but I thought, you know, I'm gonna put some on. I think it'll just kind of finish that up. I don't know. It's like my steps. I have to somehow wax a piece. I like the way it's sanded because of the grain. Since I didn't pre-sand it and I didn't do any shellac, it just kind of stayed that way. Yep, I'm going to try this one out. Cute little cabinet. Hopefully somebody will love it. Even though it's a little piece of furniture, they all have problems. So you got a broken piece here, which I don't think is that big of a deal. I have to come up with something better than a stick pin. Yep. That's what's on there. Cute little drawer. I think some better, thicker wire maybe. I don't want to have to change out these at all if I don't have to. Got some knots back there, but that's character. Maybe character. I don't know. We'll see if Bondo will hold on that or not. My goal is not to make this a new piece, which you all already know that if you're watching. But wanted to see a bucket of wire. Because that's really not holding it. What is my thickest? Maybe this rusty, crusty one. We're calling it character pieces, y'all. See, it just wasn't thick enough, and then it needed to be rounded at the bottom and the top, and then I'll hammer that in. And I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get these little knobbies off. I like them, but with the color that I want to color it, I don't think I'm going to be reusing them. Oh. And then I got some veneer board coming apart, so we will just go ahead. I got some star wand. Okay, mixing up some Bondo. We'll see. We'll see. So I think I made a corner. I let it dry like extra long time, so it might take me a while to sand it, but it's better than the hole it was. The broke off piece it was. So the scrap wood, because then I can glue that back into this spot so the doors don't, they have something to shut. So I'm just trying to sand this little guy. Bit of Tite Bond. Luckily I have the mark there. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get the brad nailer in there. Maybe. Oh. There we go. Go ahead and get washed up. Try to sand as much as I can. Like I said, I'm not taking it apart. So I'm definitely going to seal this in, especially since I tried to do a repair with Bondo. I didn't want it to be perfect. The other side's not perfect, but it kind of is what it is. So we're going to seal everything in with shellac, and including the inside. Not so worried about the drawer, but that you might want to display your yummies and have the doors open. Or you may not. Or you may want to use it as little kids. There's so many possibilities with this piece. Because it'll be so much easier to spray paint the inside back in those cubbies, especially that inside. And I know that I can color match with some chippy, crackling paint, the Green Canyon Rust-Oleum. Okay, so I couldn't figure out my stopping point. Like, where do I stop? So the next thing you know, I'm spray painting the whole thing. It's done now. A couple spots I gotta get back. I missed, but yeah, spray painted. It's dry now. And of course, that paint takes longer to dry because it has, I think it has primer and top coat maybe, because you can see it's shiny. So once it's dry and I don't feel any moisture, I go ahead and start to sand it 220. It's aging wax. I really had all the thoughts like, oh, I'm going to, you know, just do that part, and I'm going to, yeah, I mean, just to spray paint that part and do the, like a matching milk paint. But I'm like, it's really doing well. So I'm like, I'm going to leave it alone. I couldn't figure out the stopping point. And look at, it's amazing how you can get spray paint to distress. I just want to clean up the inside. So while I have the wax out, mine just doesn't hurt a thing. Can't help it. I love these porcelain knobs. Okay, we'll see what we can do to this piece without distressing that very much, because that won't be very pretty. I tried not to do that corner very much. So hopefully when I'm waxing it, because the wax actually with this spray paint, and it hasn't cured for like 24 hours or anything, it does kind of take a little bit of it off, which I kind of like because it distresses it a little bit more. See how it comes off on the cloth, but I like that because it really makes it look like that old, like it's really worn. Now, whether I would let it stay like, you know, like wait a whole day and then do this, where it wasn't just dry to the touch, but it was cured more. But I don't want to. I want to make it look like it has been played with. That little girl was so happy to have that, and she just played. She made everybody dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, probably. So thank you for hanging with me. Hopefully you leave this video with a little bit of an idea of something that might be in your stash, something that you might see out and about, like, hey, if I cut that off. Well, if you're skilled with the table saw, you're more daring than I am. I'm glad to have Chris. That was just happened to be. I'm like, hey, I want to work in these projects. Will you cut this for me? Because I am terrified of a table saw. I do not know why. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know which one I made over. And I know green, I just love it, y'all. When I looked at a piece, I can already say, I envision green, I envision orange, I envision blue, I envision, my eyes, the green. I guess they just see green. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.